What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for episode 33 of The Business. Let's be real. Tonight, I was lucky enough to get another cast member of the Frack, Paddy, Wack show, Erika Warren, who is Frick on that show. She was able to come through. She's got a busy schedule, and I was lucky enough to catch her on an open Sunday night that she had available, and was wanting to get her in, kind of talk about her life too. You know, I've had Brooke and TJ on, I've had Carlos on as well, and they've all come on and told their life stories and what led up to Frack, Paddy, Wack, and you know, that show and what they're doing now. And you know, and I wanted to do the same with Erika as well, because I think she deserves that as well. She's a real inspiration in all the things that she does outside of the show and in her personal life. And just kind of wanted to bring that out and kind of talk with her about those experiences and all the things she's done. So with that being said, The Business, Let's Be Real, episode 33 begins now. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show, The Business, Let's Be Real, with special guest Erika Warren. Erika, how you doing tonight?
Oh, great. How about yourself?
We're good. You know, can't complain. I know you're like, I'm having technical difficulties, though.
No, I'm having AC difficulties, and now I'm sitting in the living room, and I'm like, yay, me.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. It is what it is. And then here now you get to see my animals. This is Mousy.
Katie. We're always good with a special pop-up guest like that. We wanted to kind of talk about, you know, I wanted to first thank you for coming on, because I know, like I said, you got a busy schedule and you're always doing stuff. And, you know, wanted to put that out there and kind of thank you, you know what I'm saying, and just say how you know, happy I am to have you on the show, man.
I appreciate it. Okay, go away, cat. Thank you. Not a problem.
So when we were first talking, you know, I was lucky enough to come on your guys' show pre this show to kind of help, I guess, you know, get myself ready to get back on, you know, live TV. And, you know, at that time you guys were lucky enough to, grateful enough to bring me on, and I was so happy to do so, because when TJ hit me up like, T, you want to come on, talk about your show? And I was like, hell yeah. I'm like, man, I've been waiting. Like, so it was good. It was a good experience. And then, like I said, I had TJ and Brooke on. They talked about their businesses and, you know, and what led up to everything. And then I had Carlos on, and he talked about, you know, what he does for a living. And, you know, like I said, I want to do the same thing with you. So, you know, I hope you don't mind.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, you and I talked, and I was talking about how you were first, you know, born and raised in Michigan. Can you talk about that time in your life, like being like growing up in Michigan?
Yeah. So obviously my family is from there. Dad worked for a huge company. Mom worked for the same huge company. I went to a Catholic parochial school, which was by my choice. My public school had gone on strike, so I begged them to go to a Catholic parochial school and went there from first grade until ninth grade. And we moved when I was in my ninth grade. But I found my love for passion because my next door neighbor was playing basketball and I wanted to do what she was doing. So I found basketball thanks to her and played basketball because of her.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Can you talk, I guess, was that one of the main reasons why, like, when you moved to a school that was kind of be, I guess, more solid, was sports a big factor with that choice, or were you just too young kind of at that time and just wanted to make a better, you know, decision?
Nope, I did not have a choice at all, and I was actually pretty ticked off about it, that they wanted to move to a freaking different state. It first started out that they wanted to move to Georgia, and then the property that they found, they decided that they didn't like our kind there, so whatever. So they found property here in Lakeland, Florida, and they were like, hey, we're going to be moving. I'm like, wait, what? what's happening now? So I didn't have a choice. I dug my heels for a while. I actually stayed in Michigan for a year while they were building the house. And then I finally decided, whatever, man, let's go. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. So we moved, or Dad actually wanted to move for health reasons. So we moved down to Florida for that. And I think it was a good choice for us, in all honesty. Looking back at it, I think it was a really good choice for us.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Can you kind of, I guess, touch a little bit about the transition of someone, not too many people make a move like that mid high school years. Can you talk about that transition, what it was like? Because like I said, I know you were hooping and doing that. Were you able to do that then when you made the transition to come to Florida?
So I had the opportunity and I shoot myself in the foot because I didn't take it further. I had walked into the gym the summer that I moved here and the coach was just like, she's 6'2", and he was doing summer ball and things like that. And the girls that were on the team were actually calling me and reaching out to me, hey, please come practice with us, come, hang out with us, get to know us and things like that. And I was shy, anxious, nervous, and didn't do it. And I should have. I think the bond would have been quicker, faster, better had I done that, and I just didn't do it. So I kick myself in the butt for that now. But going forward, those are still my bestest friends to this day. I think you've seen Kelly on the show. That is one of my bestest friends that I still talk to her probably weekly, if not, for sure monthly.
That's cool. And people don't realize sometimes how those sports bonds, those people you meet through sports and stuff like that are some of your lifetime friends, man. And they always will be, so that's cool that, you made some friends like that. I mean, like you said, wishingly that you would have made them sooner, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, damn, if I would have just come, that transition would have been so much easier probably, but whatever.
Well, I don't even know about the transition, but I think learning their plays faster would have been better for us my first year, that we probably would have gone to states the first year instead of my second year, I think is where I kicked myself in the butt for.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. You want to talk more, I guess, about hooping and kind of what, what hooping was to you and where you could have taken it despite an injury?
This might not be the favorable, but sure. So to me at that time in high school, that was my outlet. I was never home. I was out the door at 6:15 in the morning. And I probably didn't get home till 9-10 o'clock every night. And that's, 7 days a week. If I wasn't at practice, I was at a game, whether it was a football game or a basketball game or something, or I was out with my team or my coach. My coach was he was very big on family. He would grab the girls and just say, hey, let's go eat. Let's go to the movies. Let's go do something. That was my family. That is all I knew. My mom would make supper and just make it in the, leave it in the fridge. And, if you're hungry, eat it. If you're not, oh, well, that's what you do. My junior year, I got hurt. I tore my rotator cuff. And I just, at that point, decided, I appreciate all of you guys recruiting me, but I don't want to play anymore. I got hurt. I don't want to play anymore. So I played through my senior year, but just had no desire whatsoever to continue to play. I was just like, I've been hurt once, I'm done.
Like you said earlier about some of the offers that were on the table, do you wish that you would have kind of pushed it maybe a little bit further, because of the fact that I know me personally, when I was younger, I was being recruited for wrestling because I was, a big high school wrestler. And then by my sophomore year, I had started messing around and was partying too much and just really didn't care about the sport anymore. And look back on it now, like, man, I wish I would have taken it further with the education side of it, like taking that wrestling scholarships that were being offered to me for something more than what I did. Or were you like perfectly okay with deciding no on the whole basketball thing?
So again, the unpopular opinion here, college was not for me. I thought it was a huge scam. For what I decided to do later on in life, I don't need AA, BA, BS. I don't need all that. I just need certain certificates in this specific thing that is better than having all of that. So to me, it was crap, and I was not going to pay $60,000 for a piece of paper that I knew I wasn't going to use. So to me, no, I don't regret it.
Sure.
Maybe
No,
the
I get it.
experience, but I didn't want to go back up north. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Believe me. You know, and I tell you what, it was crazy for, you know, my situation. And then looking at me when you and I were talking about it just the other day about the whole D1 situation, you were like, gee, I could have went, man, but I just, you know, I was done after getting injured. Like I was done. Like I didn't. When we talked, were you talking about your personal self not rehabbing correctly, or were you saying, because you and I talked, we were matching up injuries, like I got my shoulder tore up and I was like, I folded up my back playing football, like you were like, oh my God, Tone, like, and we were just like going back and forth and laughing about it, like, man, but you know, it is what it is, you know.
No, I actually never addressed it. I never had the surgery. I never wanted to get it fixed because I knew I didn't want to continue to play. So downfall now is when I go out there and the kids want me to play, I can probably get a good 15 shots off and then my shoulder shot. Like I can't continue to do this, guys. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So yeah, so that part sucks. But for the most part, no, I'm not sorry at all for not having the surgery, not going forward. I just, yeah.
I get it, man. It's like, if we could chat, I guess now about, I guess after school, after high school, you know, you then moved on and went to Polk County to take some classes, I guess, and then ended up getting yourself into the corporate world of things in banking. Was your plan to just kind of do the school thing just to go through the motions at that point, since you know you weren't talking, you know, like you knew what you needed to do? It wasn't about degrees, it was about trying to take the classes and those
That's exactly what it was.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I was paying for it out of pocket, and then I was seeing this one class, this one book was $300 and the class itself was $700. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. For what? For what? And then when I went to the teacher and I said, can I just test out? They're like completely appalled. Like, how dare you think you know more than me? I just proved to you in this class that I knew more than you. Like, leave me alone. And so I just stopped going.
No, I get it. I know Polk County wasn't a long stint, but you then ended up getting into the banking industry in '98 and then rode that until 2004. You did a couple different things. Can you talk about, I guess, the banking experience and like what that was as far as like some of the things you took from that particular industry that kind of still sit with you today?
So the first job that I did was lockbox. And what lockbox is remember back in the day when we used to write checks, we would have to encode the checks. So there was this big, huge machine that was probably as big as this couch that I'm sitting on. And I would have to endorse the check. So if it was a $50 check, I'd do $50 and send it through the machine to encode it. My typing has still remained that fast, even from that job. So that's one thing that I took from that job in banking. The next job, I was a teller. And the thing I took away from being a teller is, boy, oh boy, can I put my white people customer service voice on when I need to. That is the one thing that I took away. It's like, hi, how are you today? Oh my God, you smell like rotten fish. But oh, I'm so glad to hear about that. So because you had to be upfront, because you had to be makeup, hair done, you know, whatever, looking presentable, just, oh my gosh, yes. No.
I get it. No, I mean, listen, I was and still am part of, you know, corporate America.
So you put on your white customer service voice too, and you're like, oh yes, I'm so glad to help you today.
I'm like, as much as people, yeah. Look at my boss man chimes in. That's funny too. I'm like, as I say that, the boss man chimes in. He's like, hey Tony, this is AK. AK is my boss. He's my owner of the UPS store that I work at. It's super funny. AK, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining in.
See, the customer service voice and smile.
Right? Yeah, thanks for joining in, sir. But yeah, you know, I guess then, you know, with the banking, you then, after 2004, I guess you got out of that, worked with CTL Transportation for the next couple of years. I guess, can you talk somewhat about that industry? I know that's transportation industry, but you were doing some things with them. Can you talk about that time?
Yep. So that transition. So I had my son in 2003. So not making enough money. I think I was making like, I'm going to lie and say like $8 an hour because I have no idea what the heck it was. And then I could go to this job making $10 an hour. I'm lying again because I have no idea what it was. But my wonderful ex-husband, his family owned a trucking business also. So the goal, because, I'm married and that we have high hopes and we're going to do these things, that if I learn the trucking industry from the corporate world, that I can bring it back to the family and make it bigger, better. Yep.
Sure.
So that was the goal, but whatever.
I get it.
But learned a lot as far as, again, the corporate world and how the corporate world works with, AP, AR, breakdowns, just how things work with purchase orders and things like that. And I've actually taken that into starting my business and how I actually operate things and do things because of how the corporate world did it. So I kind of mimicked a lot of the things, but then didn't do a lot of things because I'm like, yeah, you people suck for that. I'm not doing that.
Sure. Put it into your own mold on what it is that you want to do. No, I get it. No, that's cool. That's cool. I guess after CTL then is when you kind of then took the time to, I guess sit down and have a chat with Pops and kind of go over the, like opening up the business and kind of getting that going. And can you talk about what he was doing before, and then what brought you on to kind of go ahead and make that decision to talk to him about getting it going again?
So it was really to rebrand the business. I wanted to use the name that he had in Michigan, just because it worked well. So the name of the company is Your Electronic Specialist. And the way that I answered the phone is, yes, how may I help you? So it's a great acronym, and I wanted to utilize that. My dad's focus was huge networks and like Novell servers and things like that. Like he was really good with like mainframes and stuff like that. He's just a hardware guy and he just gets it. I don't. When I was helping out as a child, I was very good at the software. I taught his clients how to use QuickBooks, what Word was, how to type a letter, how to print something, how to use a mouse. That was me. I was very hands-on. I was the teacher. So that's how I rebranded it to the more software, home user, small business. So that's my niche.
That's cool. Now, when you guys decided to go ahead and start the business, you talked about how it really took back off. I mean, when you started going again. So, and then at the time, when did you have a family in this mix? As if you don't mind me asking, like when did the family come along, and when when did you decide that doing the business was the best for all of you?
So the first kid was when I was working at Mid-Florida at the credit union being a bank teller. The second kid is when I was working at CTL. So after both kids and realizing, okay, $10 an hour is not cutting it, let me start this business up again as a side business. Let me start building my clientele and things like that. I think I had 2 customers at the very beginning, but after like a year, those 2 customers were enough to let me stop working full time.
Wow.
So it worked out well.
Oh yeah.
So okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. Since running the business, I mean, what I'm going to do now, I guess, is kind of have you talk about, what it is that you guys do at Your Electronic Specialist. If you don't mind plugging the business for a second. I know you're a very modest person, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to kind of put you on the spot like that. But if you don't mind, like, I'm going to put you solo, let you kind of rock about the whole industry, like what kind of services you guys provide for people, and I guess how they can get a hold of you and kind of like, get in contact with you if they are looking for some that, you guys do.
I'll try. I'm not good at this part, just so you know. All right. So I am Erika Warren. I'm the owner of Your Electronic Specialist here in Lakeland, Florida. Our niches or claims to fame are being small businesses and home users. And what that means is anybody that has a business with 25 machines or less is something that I feel that we can accommodate easily. We are a phone call, we are a text, we are an email away. We are very responsive. We are there for just the simple questions is, hey, I'm looking to buy a new computer. We do software things as far as data backup. We do data recovery, virus removals. We also do something that's called managed services for home users. And what managed services are is we perform all of the updates and virus protection for the machines to make sure that you do not get compromised as getting viruses or having a bad patch or getting blue screens of death or just being down when you can't be down, because we all have businesses and things to do on the side that we need our machines for. So that is our claim to fame and what keeps us going. There you go. Okay, potty break. Other things that I am known for doing is I donate a lot of time to VISTI. And what VISTI is volunteers in service to the elderly. And with the elderly, they need help with learning how to use their computers. They also need help setting them up or moving them and things like that. So I will go out there on my own time as just a free resource to them and either teach them, fix them, teach them how to use Facebook, signing into Facebook, changing passwords, setting up printers, setting up computers. It's just what we do when they need us, and we go out there and help them do that.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm gonna jump back in. Sorry.
It's all good because you caught me off guard, so I had to keep talking about VISTA. You're good.
No, you're good. I guess if you could kind of talk about, now before the Frack Paddy Wack stuff, you started becoming, the YouTube like basketball mom. Can you kind of talk somewhat about, I guess, that and that channel that you do and what it is that you guys are doing now with the YouTube thing?
Sure. So I started the YouTube channel just because I'm that mom. I am that mom that records all the games. I am that mom that wants to, be there, support the kids and things like that. And then it came to where the kids were like, stop me and say, hey, could you come record my games? So I have other kids that are coming from different schools wanting me to come and record their games. But it just started with me recording my kids and their cousin. They would be at practice learning things in hopes that they would watch it and make themselves better by critiquing themselves. Well, that never happened. So, whatever. So now it's just mom recording the games for the school, and the coaches are now using them for tape to watch the games back and things like that. So whatever.
Oh, I mean, and I believe that coaches would do that. You know that too. You know what I'm saying? So
they do.
I'm sure certain coaches. I mean, I guess you would have to do highlight reels for the kids so that they weren't getting a real chance to watch these kids, and what it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube thing we kind of chatted about earlier, and we were laughing because you did the basketball mom thing, and then you ended up having a YouTube video that went viral, and it was kind of funny when we were like talking about this story earlier, and that had 1 million plus views. Can you kind of, I guess, somewhat talk about that video, because that was funny that you had something that was basic blow up the way it did.
So I think it was almost like 6 years ago, and if I'm wrong on the date, I apologize, but whatever. Oh shoot, I forgot to send you that link. But we were at Kobe's in Brandon eating Easter dinner, and my innocent little mind, I was recording the show. The chef, he was like, la 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 la. Well, it went viral because the lady that was sitting across from me was just a wonderful lady. This lady was being served food, and when I tell you, she was sitting there the whole time like this, never said thank you, never even acknowledged the chef, never even was like, oh, wow, this is cool. She just looked like a grumpy person.
She wasn't impressed.
She was like so not impressed. And so when I see all these views on this video, I'm like, what the heck? Why is this getting so many hits? And then I see all these comments, and then I see all of the like translations, because it like hit huge in China for whatever reason. And they're like really hateful comments. So if this lady is watching, I am so sorry, lady, but thank you. But they're like, why isn't she saying thank you? Because every time the lady came to fill up our water and stuff, my whole family would be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she's just like, the whole time. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's too funny.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
When we talked about this story earlier, I was cracking up. I was like, we got to bring this back up. I'm like,
oh my god, it was terrible.
Like, if people are going to be looking for it now, like they're going to be wanting to see the video. They're like, I got to see this thing. I'm like, what is she talking about?
I'm so sorry. I forgot to grab the link. I meant to do that for you. I apologize.
No problem. I know you shoot it to me afterwards. I'm not worried.
I will.
I had another techie pop in, my buddy Bart Gonzalez. He's like, that's awesome. Fellow community tech person, technique. He's like, good evening, Tony. Yeah. I had Bart on the show a few months back. He's an awesome guy. He does a lot of stuff for the city as well, you know.
Oh,
and I guess now because of that, it's an awesome, you know, play into what it is that you kind of mentioned on earlier in your solo chat, but what it is that you do, I guess, now as well, like in your spare time that you kind of are able to do by helping out the elderly. You know what I mean? Can you talk about that, I guess, and what it is that, you know, you take some time out of your busy schedule to do?
So when the organization VISTI, which is Volunteers in Service to the Elderly, when they call, they're like, hey, Erika, we've got such and such client at such and such address that needs this. Can you go by there? Sure, not a problem. And I'll tell them, hey, it'll be later today, or I'll swing by tomorrow. Like, I make time. I don't care if it's after 5 o'clock, because they don't care what time you come by. It's just, please help. I'll swing by there, fix it. Sometimes they want to pay, sometimes they can't pay. And I'm completely okay with that. I have learned that when they ask how much does it cost, I usually just say, I'll take a coffee or a cup, a cookie or something. But they're like, no, I have to pay you. And they think $20 is a lot of money. So I'm like, well, thank you. That's so much. I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, are you sure? You know, you don't have to pay me this and things like that. So I have learned just to be thankful when they want to do that. But yeah, if you offer me coffee and a cookie, I am so good. I will help you with whatever you want to do.
That's so cool. That's so cool that you take your time out to help, you know, the elderly like that. And then, you know, we were also talking about, and I think this is a cool little bit that you do too. Some of the times when you go and you do, you know, you are able to take some time out and drop off meals for people, you know, and you do it over Thanksgiving, and you said you do it with VISTI. Can you talk about that? Because I think that, you know, both what it is that you do for the elderly and your meal drop-offs kind of have been spotlighted before, you know what I mean, with WFLA and with the Ledger, you know, and kind of talk about, you know, those stories and put it out there, man.
Okay. So the Thanksgiving meal delivers is still through VISTI. I usually start contacting them like a month ahead of time. Hey, just wanted to let you know that I'm still interested in delivering this year. You know, hey, just putting it out there. So 2 weeks ahead of time, we'd be like, hey, I've got 2-3 vehicles this year. Let me know what you've got. So like, I'd like to say it's a week ahead of time, but sometimes it's 2-3 days ahead of time. They will give me my whole list of people that I'm supposed to deliver to, because I'm really OCD and I make like the map and I separate my family. And I'm like, okay, you take this list, you take this list, you take that list. But we go to the Civic Center. I don't know what it's called now. Raymond, I don't know. Whatever, Lime Street. We go to Lime Street. We go pick up all of our meals. Sometimes it's like 80, 100 meals, throw them in our truck. I have one driver and I have a jumper. And what I mean by jumper is that person is the person that gets out, grabs the bag of food and takes it to the door, knock on the door. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day. Then gets back in the truck and let's go.
That's so cool, man.
I think it's been 8 years we've been doing that now.
For real? Like
I think it's been 8 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure people appreciate that, man, because, you know, a lot of people don't give their time so much anymore. Everybody's so busy, you know, and I know you're busy too. And for you to be able to take some time out of your busy schedule to still do those kind of things, it kind of, you know, inspires me to get my butt out there. I know I've thought about it before. Like, I want to do it. I want to go out and deliver, you know what I mean? And my kids ask me all the time to do it. They're like, can we do something like that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then, you know, those holidays come and go. And most of the times I was working those holidays, you know what I mean? Just recently have I been able to say I'm not going to be working all those holidays anymore. So I probably will now with you talking about it and kind of getting out there and doing it. Maybe I'll, do the same thing.
Just block off the Sunday before the Wednesday before Thanksgiving week. And that's when they go deliver it. So just block off that whole day because I help package it and then I help deliver it. So
that's awesome.
That's all they think.
Super cool. Super cool. I appreciate that you do that and you take your time out to do that, man. If you don't mind, I guess let's talk about the Frack Paddy Wack show now. Can we get into that like a little bit? I mean, we've gotten to the 30-minute mark. We talked about Erika, the person, and her life, and and I tell you what, she's super modest, guys. Like I feel bad terrorizing her and questioning her for the last half hour because she's like, gee,
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm quiet, man. Like I don't talk that much like that about myself. Like that's not what I do. I mean, and luckily I was able to get her to do that for the last half hour for us. And wanted to kind of talk about, because you and I started to prelude to it earlier before the show about, I guess, how you guys met. I told you earlier, like I had talked to both TJ and Brooke and Carla, like, hey, what was the brainchild to the show? But I never asked them like how all of you guys kind of met and kind of became closer and before the pre to the brainchild of the show. Do you mind talking about that?
Oh, I don't mind at all. So it's actually kind of really funny that TJ and Brooke didn't like me at first because they thought I was friends with this particular person that made this Facebook group. And I'm like, I don't know why you think that. I do not like that person. So that kind of like stemmed like a whole conversation with us. And from there, when they were transitioning from the XFC stuff and they were thinking about starting their own business, but they weren't ready yet, and I'm sorry for this, TJ and Brooke. I am so sorry. But I introduced them to a person that does what they do here in Lakeland, and they went to go work for him for a while. And they learned what they liked and didn't like, and they figured out, hey, we can do this on our own. So we became really close through that whole transition.
Sure.
And just started hanging out. And then just Carlos appeared. So I would be over at their house just hanging out and like, I don't know you, but hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And, he was just there, just like, now I'm just there all the time. Family events. And they're like, oh, there's Carlos and Erika. Well, yeah, hi. We're just here.
Like we're part of the family too now.
Yeah. And that's how we're treated. And I love every bit of it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's a cool group of people, man. Like those guys, like Bill and TJ and all them, like they're all so welcoming to everybody.
Always.
They're always like, they're like, come on, whatever you need, we got you. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate those guys so much. Appreciate TJ, Brooke, Carlos, you for taking time out to come on and talk about it. Like, that's what's cool. Like, and like I said, because of the fact that I talked to them about the brainchild, you have a different but same insight into the brainchild of it all too. Because like, you were the one who really spoke up about, I guess, the taping of it. Can you talk about that? Can you talk about?
That's fine. So our thing, this is pre-Tyler now, so just keep that in mind. We would, hey, we're bored. You guys want to come over and drink? Sure, not a problem. So we would bring your own bottle to go over there, just hang out, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. We'd fall asleep on the couch, whatever. And here I am. I'm like, you know what? We're freaking funny. I need to start recording this shit. So I threatened them with bringing my 4K camera over that I used to record the basketball games. I'm going to point that shit right there. And we're just going to record this and put this on YouTube because somebody else is going to find us funny. And they're like, yeah, you should do that. Well, I just never did because I go over there, in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, no bra because I'm ready for bed. But, they're my friends and I could care less. So I didn't want to embarrass myself. So that's why I never did it.
You're like, I can't go on live like this. You guys serious? Like, I think the dialogue is hilarious, but we can't go on looking like this.
But it probably would have been funnier. Been like, what is wrong with her? Oh, nothing. She's just her.
Yeah, she's just tired. We'll call that tired.
Sure.
No,
oh my God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then I guess you guys talked about it, chatted about it, didn't think that it was ever going to come like for real to what it has become to, and then all of a sudden,
Corona.
yeah, Corona hit. Everybody was having to be socially distancing at that time, and you guys then found yourselves without being able to be around the people that you guys wanted to be around, and found a way to do so. Can you talk about that? Like when you guys finally decided, like, listen, we're going to go ahead and do this and see what happens, and talk about that decision and the beginning of the Frack Paddy Wack show.
So we were introduced to Zoom because TJ and I were in the same BNI group, which is Business Networking International. So we're like, okay, the Zoom thing, it works like this. Maybe we can use this as our friend thing, and we can just talk to each other that way. So for the first couple of weeks, we were just Zooming each other and having conversation. And then it turned into, hey, we should make a show. We're kind of funny. And then we would start with layouts and plans and things like that. And then we decided to go live and just trying to get our feet wet and see how it worked. We're like, hey, we actually have people that like us. There's 1,000 people watching us. What the heck? So yeah, it turned out really well, actually. So it's been doing really.
I love this show. You know what I mean? I told you guys that when I came on. I was, because of the fact that I think you and I talked about this the other night when we were chatting, and I said I had started a show too, like almost at the same time when you guys started, because of the fact that I was on furlough and I was trying to find something to do. I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't have to go to work. Like, nobody's hiring right now, of course. So of course I'm stuck kind of dead in the water. I'm like, but I got a voice and I got a computer and I got a mic. Like, should I get on and do this? And had been something I've been wanting to do forever. And, started it up with a buddy at the time. And it was right at the time when you guys were starting up. And I used to, like, every Thursday night, I used to make sure I got on and told you guys what's up. And, I wanted to let you know that I was always supporting you guys because of the fact that I was starting at the same time. And I knew that TJ and Brooke and you guys were always coming on and kind of helping support me as well. And like, then like that situation fell off and you guys kept going, and I still kept hitting it, like still kept letting you guys know, like, hey, I'm watching every Thursday night. I was just putting it on and would literally sit it next to me outside and would sit outside and watch sports games with no music, you know what I'm saying, with no volume.
Because we're freaking funny.
Yeah, because I would just listen to y'all and let y'all talk and laugh, and you know what I'm saying, like, damn, like, what are they talking about? Like, look over, watch it. I'm like, dude, these kids is crazy. And it is funny because I mean, you like I told you when we were talking the other day, I'm like, you have that like dry like humor to it all. Like, you kind of sit back and you don't say much, but when you do say something, it's very diabolical in the way you say it. And I'm like, damn, like, and nobody got it, and all of a sudden they all get it, like, oh, like Erika, and you're like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, Carlos is always kind of the pun to all your jokes, but
he's sitting right there,
and he wears it well. He does wear it well, so I think that's funny. I mean, yeah, I think you guys have a good time, man. So that's what I think is important. Can you talk somewhat about some of the formats, some of the things that you guys hit, and the certain things that are your kind of specialties, and also, well, just hit on your specialties first, and then we'll go from there. Like, some of the things you guys talk about on the show, some of the things that you kind of focus on, and then I'll ask you another question after that.
We always try to find a theme for the show. We have found that theming that has worked really well, whether it's a national holiday or a murdered person or just whatever. We always try to talk about what's trending in local and national news. And then I started the shout outs, like, what are you thankful for? What good happened today? Because we should end the show always on positivity. And my biggest gripe with the show is TJ is very, very political. And I love that he's very, very political, but I like it when it's just us. I don't need the whole world to know how you feel about something.
Sure.
And they noticed at the beginning that I would get super duper quiet and I wouldn't talk about things. Yeah. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nobody needs to know how I feel about this. And then they had brought up some other things when, like, the George Floyd stuff was going on. I got
Sure.
super duper quiet again because it's none of your business how my family reacts to this or how we feel about this or things like that. That's not from national news. You can turn
Sure.
that camera off and I'll have this conversation with you all day long.
Yeah.
So we had to learn each other. We had to learn each other's limitations, and
And that
they
was the
had
early stages of the show, right? Like you're talking
very
about,
early.
yeah, because that George Floyd situation happened. I know, like I'm saying in the baby stages in the early months. So
Yep.
go ahead, keep talking. Sorry,
No,
I didn't
no,
mean
no,
to-
no, no, you're fine. But it's just they had to learn me because they know I am very private and I do keep a lot of things to myself, as you have learned also. I get real quiet. But you turn that camera off and I'll have the conversation with you. So that's fine. So it took some learning of each other. Like, what does Carlos want to talk about? What does, TJ will talk about anything. He could care less. But
Sure.
Brooke and I get very, very quiet. And then they have to run the show. And then when they realize that, then they're like, okay, now we need to stop talking to engage the girls.
This
So
is
they're
for them,
learning.
yeah.
Yeah. So they're learning, and it's been fun to learn each other. But I think it's also made us closer as friends too, like on a personal level, because now I can say, hey, I'm going to make something up. I need a ride here, and there's no questions asked. I'm going to come get you, because obviously it means something's wrong here, and I need help because I don't ever ask for help. So they're learning, and it's cool how friendships evolve.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys have that. You guys got that family bond on Frick Frack Paddy show, and I enjoy it like I've always told you, and it's like I was lucky enough to come on it and be a part of it, and it was a super cool time. And like I said, it inspired me to continue what it is that I'm doing. I'm only at week 33 right now, and it's past the half year point, and I'm getting closer to that 1 year. Yeah, and it is.
People don't
It
realize
really
how
is.
much work this crap is. Like, dang.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for telling them. I'm like, let them know, okay? Because for real, like, that we don't just do this overnight. Like, it isn't I know we make it look like that. It's like I know we make it look so easy sometimes because but all this stuff that we do with the effects and everything that's going on, all the screens that you see around you, like being able to get somebody to sit down and take the time out with you to talk on your show, and like there's 4 of you, and that's difficult. Like to be able to get 4 people together, and not. Because at this point, you guys, I don't know how well you guys are being monetized, but it's like, is it well enough for you guys to take all that time out? Because it's difficult. Like it's a tough thing that we do, and it's like, so you got to be careful with how much time you spend leading up to it because of the fact that you're not making any money off of it. People understand that, and I think they get it. Sometimes they don't exactly get it, but they still appreciate what it is that you're doing. And I think you guys are doing a great job. I know you guys had some recent cutbacks into what it is and how much you guys are doing. And can you talk about, I guess, what, like, in your aspects of the show, what are your favorite parts, your truly favorite parts of the show that you enjoy doing? And then maybe touch a little bit on the not so favorite parts, because I know you talked about, when they touched on politics, that's not your thing. You know what I'm saying? And I get that because of the fact that I'm not somebody who likes to talk about politics on the air either. But if we turn the cameras off, I'm down for that because of the fact that if you're open to what it is that I say, and I have the same aspect to it all, we'll walk away still being the same people. But hey, maybe I learned a little something from you at that time, and hopefully you did too. You know what I mean? But to do it on the air, that's a little touchy. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get that part of things and why you went quiet on that. But can you talk, I guess, like I said, about your favorite parts of the show and favorite maybe bits that you guys do, and some of your unfavorite ones?
So my favorite part is just seeing my friends. That's first and foremost my favorite. TJ and Brooke are no longer in BNI, so I don't see them every Tuesday, but Carlos still is. So, hey friend, how are you? But I miss the just the bonding, the getting together. My other favorite part is really exactly what you said. I can have a conversation with them. They're not judging me. They're not forcing any of their beliefs down my throat. I can ask a question like, hey, what does the parliaments mean? legitimately not knowing, and Carlos will explain it or critique me or whatever. And I'm just like, thank you for being a friend and explaining and telling me how you feel about it instead of just, no, you're wrong. So my unfavorite parts of it, I really don't have an unfavorite part other than waiting for Carlos to get there. But, we love him. He's never on time.
He's Latino. Latinos are late for everything, man.
We tell him to be there at 2 and he's ready by 3. Like, I want to punch him in his face. Hey, TJ.
And I'm sorry to all my Latinos out there. I'm sure some of them are being funny. Like, they're probably like, oh my God. Like, that's too funny. Oh, my pops is on, dude. He's saying enjoying the show with Erika. Aww. That's so cool.
See, TJ's agreeing with me too.
Yeah. I'm like, TJ pops in. Tyler says good night, Auntie, Mr. Business. That's good night, buddy. He's like, so true. That's too funny. TJ.
It is. Because we're sitting there, we're all like tapping our laptops, like, are you ready yet, dude? Like, are you ready yet, dude? Like, I love you, but are you ready yet?
Like, that's too funny.
It is
too funny. Carlos is hilarious, man. Like,
he is.
Yeah, I'm like, if people only knew, like, Carlos, like, when I came on and he was doing the cocktail, he was like, I'm sorry, we brought you on early. I'm in the middle of doing the cocktail. I hope you don't mind. I'm like, rock that shit, dude. Like, go ahead, man. And he's so funny. Like, I was telling him about how when I saw the video of when he was making the meal, and it was like in the timeline, and he was like, dude, it was so funny because Erika and I went over to TJ and Brooke's house and taped that video, and I was dying when he was telling me the story. He was like, I was house sitting for them. He goes, and I call Erika up, like, Erika, he's like, I'm house sitting for TJ and Brooke. He's like, you got to come over here. I'm going to cook something in their kitchen. And you were like, I'll be right there, dude.
And then the neighbors are looking at me like, why are you going in there with video equipment? And they aren't there. And I'm like,
walking out with video equipment, lighting and stuff. They were like, the hell's going on in there?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That was a great story. I mean, and I don't know if he told that on the air or if he told that after we got off, because he and I chatted for like an hour after we got off, and like we're just picking each other's brains and we're laughing the whole time. Like, such a funny character, Carlos is. So I get it. And, you know what I mean? If he runs a little bit late, you know, because Carlos is probably talking to somebody else trying to get out there, you know.
You already know. That's exactly what it is. Oh, I was with a client. No, the hell you weren't. You were with some girl and you just got, yeah, okay. We love you.
Into the talking. He was still like, I'm trying to handle business.
Love him so much.
Too funny. Too funny. I guess if you don't mind talking about where you guys are today and where it is that you guys are looking to go in the future, because I know you guys just passed your first year not too long ago, right? Just a couple months back, you guys hit the 1 year mark. And then, you know, I think that, of course, you guys have what it is that people want to see. You know, when we talked, I was talking about how all of us can get into this. You know, I got contacted by somebody today who's, you know, talking about doing a podcast and if I could help them in any way. And I was like, yeah, just let me know what it is that you're trying to do. And I'll help you with whatever, you know, if it's the webcasting. And, you know, I was calling this a podcast too. And you were like, Tia, are you doing video? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and you were like, well, it's really a webcast. Dude.
It's a webcast.
I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, well, whatever, man. I can call it a podcast, but it is what it is. And
it's okay. We had the same talk too. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm like, and I kind of laughed about it because you were like, "Are you doing video?" And I was like, "Yeah." And you were like, "Not a podcast. Podcast is
always an asshole. I'm so sorry."
No, not at all. But it made me realize, like, I was like, I am doing a webcast. Like, hell yeah! Like take it for what it is. Like, don't be shy and call it a podcast. You're not doing just audio. And but I got hit up about it today about somebody asking about how to get into it, and it was kind of ironic of the fact that I'm having you on and you guys were kind of like I said, inspirations to me to get going again. Like when you guys brought me on at a time when I was down and didn't have anything going, and we're like, TJ was like, I know you want to get started again. Let's get you on and let's get you going into the mentality of getting back on the air. And you know, are there any words that you could kind of give somebody like myself to kind of and you know, I mean, get into the industry like before? You know, I'm in it now with you, of course, but we have our own ways on how we do things. Like you guys do your guys' show, which is super cool and funny, and then I do a different show, which is totally different. Like, you know, I kind of interview people and let them talk about their lives, and then we just chat about random shit. You know what I mean? And that's what you and I've been doing now to this point. So it's like, is there anything that you could kind of put out to somebody like that is looking to just get into the industry that we're doing, and maybe give some good words?
Sorry about the dog. My thing, shut up. My thing is do it for yourself. Always do everything for yourself. Don't try to appease the masses. Don't try to listen to the critics, because you're always going to have that one dipshit that just wants to break your spirit. But for me personally, when we started this show, I needed my friends more than anything, because I was depressed, being isolated and things like that. So if you need this and need the world to talk to, then do it. Do it for yourself. In all honesty, just make yourself shine. And if you're just talking crap all day, then talk crap all day. If it makes you feel good, then do it. Just do it.
Yeah, just get out there and do it, man. That's the way to go about it, because it's so much fun.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm like, sorry. I'll let you get out of here soon. I promise. I know you got, you know, like, I know you got things to do and people to go spend time with. I guess if you don't mind, what I'm going to do now at this point is I'll drop you back in solo, let you talk about the business, talk about Frick, Frack, Paddy, Wack, and what it is that you guys are doing with that, and where you're looking to go in the future, and how people can kind of contact you professionally and contact you on and where they can find you on with FFPW. If you don't mind.
Live.
I'm like, I'm gonna put you kind of solo on that.
I hate when you do that.
I'm sorry. I'm like, but I'm gonna do that, and then like I said, let you talk about the business, and then if you don't mind, drop about FFPW and what you guys are doing now, where you're going in the future, and then I'll jump back in with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
sure.
right. Thank you.
All right, so I'm Erika Warren again with Your Electronics Specialist. Our niche or claim to fame is small businesses and home users, and that is any company that is under 25 machines that need either managed services, that needs just consultation, or are looking to purchase equipment. So if you would like to reach out to me personally, the business website is www.yesfl.biz, or my personal number is 863-899-8446. Call, text, whatever you want to do. I am there. And as far as FFPW, our goal is to be your entertainment, to give you a break from the monotony of life. We are wanting to be your entertainment. We want to not only engage our local community, but keep everybody in tune with what's going on in the world, and just being that break that everybody needs during the night. So if you're looking to watch our show on the first and third Thursdays of the month at 9:30, you can find us on ffpw.live. And I am Frick with the Frick, Frack, Paddy, Wack webcast. And Tony left me again. Not a problem. We are also looking for sponsorships, because as Tony and I talked about a few minutes ago, we have found that Zoom is not only Zoom, but restreaming things are expensive. And we would love sponsorships to give your business or you personally a shout out on the show to help us bring you more live entertainment throughout the show or the weeks coming. And basketball season is going to be starting soon, so support your local basketball teams, whether it's high school, middle school, elementary. If your kids in Lakeland want me to record their shows and throw them up on YouTube, I will happily do that too. You can still reach me at 863-899-8446. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate that. You can also find me on Facebook at Yes your electronic specialist. Appreciate that.
I gotta be full. I'm like, I gotta be full here. PJ, like, what about yes? Don't forget yes.
He did. He got it.
Too funny. He's a fool. All right, let me pop me back in here. Hold on. Because now we are going to go to a part of the show that I call Pick Your Poison.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if you saw the show before, but I kind of do a couple different things where I talk about I give you a couple like random questions and pretty much ask you like, would you rather this or that? With that being said, I kind of want to ask, do you prefer banking or computers?
Probably computers.
Okay. Can you talk about why you prefer computers over the banking side of things?
It makes me more money. Didn't expect that answer, did you?
That's your everyday business. I get it. I guess my second choice would be between owning your own business, or if you were able to take that show to the next level and be able to be paid to do the show, would you prefer that instead?
All day. Doing the show all day.
Doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's so much funner to be able to talk and get on here and do our thing.
And I can be around my friends.
Oh, that's so cool, man. And I guess my last question for you, and I don't know if you were able to see my shirt tonight, but I'll stand up so you can see it. It's
okay.
Tupac. It's Tupac and Biggie.
All day.
Tupac and Biggie. Can you say why you picked Tupac for that?
Just because I identify more with him. But as far as a lyricist, I think Biggie was much better because he was off the cusp and it just flew like right off the tip of his tongue. He was just right at it. But as far as just vibing, I vibe with Tupac all day.
I get it, man. I get it. I'm so huge on the Biggie side of things.
I know it's like it's so hard to choose.
Thanks for liking the shirt, man. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's like I'm from the East Coast, so of course I'm a huge Biggie fan. But Tupac's music and the lifestyle that he lived was more matched to what I was as a person at that time growing up. So it was kind of crazy because he was talking about the things that I was doing. And that was life, you know. So I appreciate you, Erika, man, for taking some time out and coming on, man. I know you're busy, and you know, it's like you never, you know, get a chance to talk with me too much, you know what I mean? It's like, so I appreciate that you actually took some time out of your busy schedule, came on my show, gave me some time. If there's anything you ever need from me, man, you let me know. I'm always there for y'all. You know that. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are total inspiration.
Not a problem. How about next time you don't make me talk about bed business? We'll talk about the kids playing basketball.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Because now your personal story's been told. So from here on, like, you know, when we want to get into the basketball thing, I'm definitely down to have you back on. We can chat about that all day.
And my son's here too, so I think that'd be fun to just hear his perspective too.
Yeah, for sure. You know that too. I'm good with that. I love hearing, you know what I mean, young men that are trying to come up in the game and, you know, that want to play. So you let him know whenever he's ready, he can come on and see me on the show for sure. Okay.
We got it.
We talked about the nephew and, you know, we talked about your son earlier before the show. And I think that was cool. You know what I mean? And I hope they get some time to spend with each other and enjoy it for now because.
Oh, they see each other more than I see him. So he's like, Mom, I'm going to go see Killian. Oh, okay, bye. See ya.
They're busy, man.
I know, boys.
Two young, good-looking gentlemen. They're trying to, you know, they got things to take care of.
Stop it.
Two big ballers, too. You know what's going on.
As he comes out here, really, son? Hey, son. He's like, what's up, Mom? What's up?
Like, you talking about me? Sorry, buddy.
You hear him? What you talk about me for?
Only respect, dude. Only respect, for sure.
It's all love, son. It's all love.
I appreciate you, Erika. I'm going to drop you backstage. I'm going to do the last little outro of the show, do my quote, and then you and I will chat right after the show, okay?
All right, sir.
All right, man. Thank you. Yeah, that was Erika Warren, man. Super excited to have her on the show. She's Frick from the Frack Paddy Wack show. You know, so happy that she was able to take some time, like I said, out of her busy schedule. She's running her own business. She's trying to do a show. She's, you know, a mom to some high school kids, and you know what I mean? She's busy. She's super busy, man. So I was lucky. I was lucky to get her on. I hope you guys appreciated the show and appreciated her coming on. And like I said, taking some time out of her busy schedule to come on and talk about life and talk about what it is that got her to the point that she's at today, you know what I mean? And we're able to put a little bit of respect out there for what it is that she's been able to accomplish. So, you know, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do my final quote of the night, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. My final quote is, today only happens once. Make it amazing. You know, we got to live by those standards. Always enjoy what it is that we do and have a great time doing it. Make it amazing. So with that being said, the business. Let's be real. Episode 33. Over.